Attention, ladies and gentlemen across the galaxy, all you fine-looking people. This is your Grand Admiral Arnold, director of the video gaming division here at the Galactic Empire, with your host, Gary. And boy, oh boy, do we here have some intelligence that's gonna make you smile. We have the Finalizer kit reveal. Bow before the First Order after the Imperial Empire, ladies and gentlemen. Gary, bring him on over to the command station. Buckle down, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to finally make use out of the First Order. And we already did an initial kit reaction over on Twitch. Come on and hang out with us over here. The First Order may just be the most offensive, fastest fleet we have in the game. Like, holy cow, the turn meter and all these other crazy unique things going on here is certainly going to get a lot of you guys pumped. Now, as of now, we don't know if this ship is going to come earlier than March 18th. There's a card in the top right-hand corner. Gary, you got to bring him over here. Got to show him the kit. We don't know if this ship is going to come earlier before March 18th. We know March 18th, the ship is going to be coming in, but with the kit reveal being today, very similar to the Radis, usually within the next 24 hours, this ship is released. So stay tuned. It looks like we might actually get this ship released before March 18th. But without further ado, let's read this kit. And man, I gotta say, I used to be one of the biggest ship haters, but I am actually enjoying ships so thoroughly now. The ships, the fleets are getting so creative, and the meta is not stale. Malevolence beats Negotiator. Negotiator beats Akbar. Malevolence beats Akbar. Radis can beat all these other things. And now we have this ship right here. I hope Capital Games continues to push out ships that are interesting, pushes the envelope, changes our thinking of ships, and stays really thematic to all these factions. And this right here, this capital ship, it's gonna allow you to start using your ultimate ability at the very first turn. The First Order is going to probably be one of the most offensive and fastest fleets we have in the game. I don't know about defensive viability, but this seems like it may be a counter to Akbar and the Rebel fleet. Let's start reading this, ladies and gentlemen. Then we're also going to kind of connect the dots to the current First Order ships we have in the game. And when you look at the kit and the ships we have, you're going to be like, oh, dang, this is going to be a lot of fun. So here we go. Basic layways. Final text says deal damage to target enemy if the target is hunted. Very, very important. We'll learn more about that later on. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Deal damage a second time. Target ally gains critical damage up for 2 turns. And if they are First Order, they also are called to assist, dealing 30% less damage. This team is just going to get so much firepower out onto the field. Their damage is going to be stacking over time because of that hunted and of course other things that Hux's capital ship is going to do. I just want to see the amount of damage this ship is going to be able to put out for the First Order. First Order statistically has some of the harder hitting ships, but they just don't have a home. This is their home, baby. Welcome home, Kylo, baby. Quell. Low cooldown of 2 right here. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict offense down and target lock for 3 turns. If it's a resistance or a hunted target, these effects can't be resisted. Now, right now, when I first read this, I'm like, oh, that's random target lock. Hold on to that thought. Put a pin in it. Put a pin on Gary's head for target lock, because when we look at the kits of the individual ships we have for First Order at the moment, you're going to be like, wow, that target lock is going to be important. Spread as much target lock on the field as possible. We're moving close to our ultimate ability. I don't even want to show you guys. We're going to scroll up a little bit. Ravage, cooldown of 4. Ravage, deal physical damage to all enemies. This attack deals 100% more damage for each hunted enemy. So far, a simple kit, and the first thing that comes to my mind is kind of like Grievous. He has that charge mechanic. The more charges that's on the field, the more damage he's going to do. But hunted, it's stuff you're applying to the enemy fleet. So it's a little bit of the same spiel that Grievous's Malevolence has. And the good thing about it, hunted's a debuff, and you can't cleanse it. So don't worry about hunted disappearing on you. So it's just going to be stacking damage because you can't get rid of hunted until the ship is defeated, of course. Now the ultimate ability, which you can use turn 1. No waiting here, ladies and gentlemen. Extinguish Hope. Cooldown of 3. But it starts off cooldown at the very beginning of battle. All hunted enemies lose 35% turn meter, and the target enemy becomes hunted until they are defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, prevented, or resisted. So if you happen to have foresight, whatever the case, we tenacity up, chief, it's getting on you, and you can't get rid of it. You can't dispel it at all. Then deal physical damage to the target enemy. And now we're starting to see a lot of these more offensive bonuses for your First Order. First Order allies gain defense penetration and offense up for 2 turns, and this ability can't be evaded. And it's available for use at the start of the battle. Creativity. It's so nice that these fleets, there's an iconic theme to them. The first order is obviously, we're just going to go all out, guns blazing. We're going to smash all this firepower on you. And it's very kind of the opposite of what the Radis is, where the Radis is very slow. It's very defensive, trying to survive until the end. I don't know about you, but I'm more of this style. I just like to go out there, guns blazing, and just light this place up right here and hunt it. This is important now. We find they're getting here. Deal 75% less damage with out-of-turn attacks and can't gain bonus turn meter. Now, the first two ships that come to my mind. Number one, Akbar. If you can land hunted, or when you land hunted, let's clarify ourselves. When you land hunted at the very beginning on whomever you can, I wonder if you can maybe get Hux out there before Millennium Falcon can get a turn and get its whole little woo 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 thing going so you can't target it. If you can get hunted on the Millennium Falcon early enough, being able to stop all that massive oncoming rebel damage, or even Biston's U-Wing or Biggs's X-Wing, those are the ships you see very commonly. They attack out of turn so much, this could hinder it. And because you can't cleanse hunt it, and you're going to keep these kind of spreading throughout the battle, because this is going to be a very fast ship, as we're going to see with a very low cooldown for the ult ability. I think it's the lowest cooldown on the ult ability we have in the game. That's going to be big. And plus stopping bonus turn meter. And there's a lot of turn meter removal capabilities, as we're going to see with the current first order ships. And, you know, we didn't even get to the best part yet. The unique ability. I know we're kind of freaking about starting off with your ult ability. This kit allows you to have your first order at the start of the battle, the ones actually on the field, use their reinforcements. You no longer have to call in a reinforcement with your first order to use their reinforcement ability. You can just use the reinforcement ability right away because the TIE silencer is on the field. This is huge. This is really going to benefit because a lot of these reinforcement abilities on the first order are very offensive and turn meter heavy, as we're going to see. So 2 steps ahead, at the start of the battle, the Finalizer gains 15 speed for each other active first order ally until the end of its turn. Until the end of its first turn. So this is going to be a fast capital ship. We have 4 ships already in the game for first order. That's 60 speed right there. Usually they add 1 or 2 more ships afterwards, so maybe there's a chance we'll get an extra 15 speed by adding a 5th first order ship at some point down the line. But you're going to want to start off with 3 first order ships so you can get that 45 speed bonus right there. We don't really have a ship right now that can kind of manipulate its speed that drastically, which is why this is going to be a very offensive and a fast ship to be playing around with. And here's the kicker. All first order allies active at the start of the battle have plus 50% max health and have their reinforcement abilities activated. Debuffs from these abilities will not be inflicted. Soak it in. Soak it in, ladies, gentlemen, Gungans, droids, Rodians, and everything else in between that right there. That is crazy, because a lot of times right now, like with the Radis, for example, when I'm sitting there, it's like, oh man, I might want to put a resistance into reinforcement so I can call them in and they can start using their reinforcement abilities. Now, who cares? Just put all your best first order ships at the start and you're good to go. It doesn't matter. And then first order allies recover 25% health when they critically hit an enemy, which will probably be about 97% of the time. They're going to be landing critical hits, barring critical hit immunity, of course. And if a first order ally defeats a hunted enemy, that ally gains 25% critical damage stacking, max of 5 stacks until the end of the battle. I want to know how hard the TIE silencer is going to hit. I want to know how hard these TIE pilots are going to be hitting. TIE silencer is already a very hard hitting ship. This guy is probably going to be easily hitting over 200,000. And one thing that makes me wonder, it's kind of it's an improbability in terms of PvP ships to get any really more than 5 stacks, especially good luck getting 5 stacks per ship, because it's impossible. This might be, we know there's a ship raid in the future of some sort. What if this is more designed as well for ship raid content down the line, where you get a lot of units coming after you? Imagine you'd be able to max out the stacks of this right here, getting that extra critical damage stacking. Then it's possible to get more than 5 stacks of ships. So keep your eyes peeled. We know there's a ship raid around the corner. This very well could be part of that requirement right there that conquer that new content. And then the reinforcement bonus. Reinforcements gain advantage for 2 turns. If the reinforcement is first order ally, they also gain 25% critical damage until the end of the battle. And the Finalizer gains 30% turn meter. Turn meter. Turn meter. Turn meter. Damage. 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 For someone like me, I could appreciate going in guns blazing, doing massive amounts of damage. So let's move on real quick to the developer insights. There's a couple things I want to point out here, because once again, we don't have the requirements for this ship just yet. I'll keep you updated when we do find out. Presume the first order ships are going to be needed, and check that card in the top right hand corner if you want to see what the other requirements might be. We'll probably find out within the next 24 hours here. What we have here is that they're recommending things like the Houndstooth. Yeah, that's very creative, and Ebon Hawk and stuff like that. You really want to start off with your first order ships. And they're even saying, for example, you might want to put your Houndstooth kind of in the reinforcement slot. This team is not going to be very defensive heavy. It seems like they're not planning on bringing a defensive ship of any sort, not bringing in a tank. So this might just be a purely offensive fleet that's not really meant to have any defensive viability. So there might be a chance that we're not going to see another ship that's going to be kind of like a bomber, kind of like for Galactic Republic. We're speculating a resistance bomber for the upcoming Radis fleet right here. So this is something to keep in mind, that you're going to want to bring in this fleet guns blazing. Just go all offense and don't worry too much about the damage output. It's kind of interesting to see a ship kind of designed like this. So taking this kit reveal that we have right here, remember all the damage increases, all the turn meter. I want to briefly, for a few moments, hop over to our beloved Galaxy of Heroes and show you some of the abilities to keep in mind. Now, I'm talking with chat here on Twitch as we're recording this video, and we kind of all agree the 3 starting ships that seem very obvious to use at the beginning are going to be TIE Silencer, Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle, and the First Order TIE Fighter Pilot. And I'll explain why right now. Remember, you're going to be able to activate all those juicy reinforcement abilities at the very beginning of the battle with Hux. Only First Order ships, not the other ships. And we're based on the language, it seems like the reinforcement First Order TIE Fighter, he's not going to have his reinforcement activated until he gets on the field because he's not active just yet. So look at this. Inflict target lock on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted, and all allies gain 15% turn meter. It's kind of like a Captain Rex. You're starting to battle, boom, massive amount of turn meter gain. And there's a lot more stuff going on here. We have other target lock abilities being able to reduce your cooldown. So now seeing the kit, it starts to make more sense why you want to have target lock. You get 15% turn meter whenever a target locked enemy is damaged by an attack. So having this guy take as many turns as possible is great. These characters can hit hard, and you can inflict target lock for 2 turns, big massive damage, and then right here you can attack 2 times. Heavy hitting ships, very fast ships. TIE Silencer, you want to start off with this afterburner capability. I feel like I haven't upgraded this ability because really when I need Kylo Ren, it's not for reinforcement purposes, it's to start off to try to stun with this basic ability. But now he's going to start off with all this massive stuff. He's going to get the extra offense. Afterburner will allow him to get reduces cooldowns when he has advantage. When a First Order ally takes damage, the TIE Silencer has 50% chance to gain advantage for 2 turns. So he's going to do some massive damage with this right at the very beginning, and he's always going to have advantage. We already know the critical damage synergy that's going on in this kit. Of course, big damage right here, but really, each time the TIE Silencer is damaged or damages a target locked enemy, which is why that target lock is so crucial from Hux, it gains 10% turn meter. There's so much turn meter on this team, Gary, and 15% offense stacking until the end of the encounter. So when you pair this with all the Hux stuff, the stacking critical damage, all the other lovely juiciness that Hux is giving out, this is going to be a very hard hitting ship. And this is already probably, if I had to rank, probably one of the top 15 heaviest hitting ships in the game, and it hasn't had a home. This could easily crawl up to maybe being a top 5, maybe even #1 hardest hitting ship in the game because of all these stacking opportunities. And of course, the stun here is always going to be helpful. And then lastly, this is a ship that people have overlooked for so long. It's not been a really good ship, even at its dawn. It was a very bloated kit. The AI is not friendly with it. When it first came out, it was not that great of a ship. It's a hard ship as well. Expect this to be needed for the First Order Finalizer ship. It's a hard farm. Luckily paired to Science, so it's not a worthless farm. Most people have to chase after Sign one way or another, but so much turn meter on this team. Let's read the reinforcement because that's why I'm recommending we're going to start off with this when we do our live stream testing, whenever this comes out, probably within the next 24 hours. Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle removes 20% turn meter from enemy ships when they are called in as reinforcements. You want this at the very beginning. Being able to get as much turn meter removal as possible on the enemy while you get a lot of turn meter is fantastic. Then Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle gains 20% turn meter when an enemy reinforces. Other First Order allies gain half that amount. You're moving their turn meter. You're gaining turn meter. You're getting turn meter from who knows where, from all these other elements that we've been breaking down lately. This is going to be a very powerful support ship to have. Continuing on, there's more stuff. Kylo Ren is going to get all this extra speed, pair that up with his turn meter. He's going to counterattack. Oh, when First Order allies are taking damage, Kylo Ren's going to get more turn meter. There's turn meter everywhere, and you get to reduce the cooldowns of this capital ship. It's like, someone take track, Gary. I mean, take a shot every time I'm saying turn meter. You probably are dead at this point. And then, of course, there's other great stuff here. He gains more turn meter. Target ally gains 100% turn meter and advantage for 2 turn, and their cooldowns are reduced by 1. This is insane. And we already know you can reduce the cooldowns quite a lot. And just moving on, What do we have here? Turn meter. Target ally loses all turn meter, then all allies gain turn meter. Plus 25% of the turn meter that the ally lost, doubled for first order, so 50% in turn meter. If the command shuttle targets itself first order, all first order allies gain advantage for 2 turns. I'm not hyping this up and saying this is going to be the #1 ship in the game. I think this could be better than the Radis. The Radis is missing a lot of pieces. The problem is first order, they got the damage. They just need something to get more speed out there. And we saw 500 turn meter capabilities here. And I'm not even going to break down this stuff. There's a great turn meter removal stuff, buff removal and stuff like that, protection up. We're not going to read all that. But this ship, I think, has a lot more potential being better than the Radis. I've been doing extensive testing with the Radis, and it's okay. But the problem is you got to pull from a lot of different fleets out there, from a Rebel fleet or something like that. The best fleet I've come across requires like Han's Millennium Falcon, as well as Biggs' X-Wing. And if you don't use those ships, and Hound's Tooth, it's not all that great. Resistance is missing something. But right here, I think this is going to be better than the Radis from the get-go. Maybe it's going to beat the Akbar. If it could beat Akbar, that's going to be fantastic, because one of the things the developers talked about in their little insights over here is that they are intending for this ship to kind of be like a second tier fleet. And that's kind of what I told you guys with the Radis. The Radis is okay. Right now, the best ships in the game are kind of Negotiator and Malevolence. They're kind of neck to neck. Then Akbar. Then Radis is the 4th best capital ship in the game. And the thing is right now, I'm not finding too much use out of the Radis, but seeing the kit right now, this could possibly change up the Grand Arena and Territory War meta, because a lot of people put the Rebellion fleet on defense. But if you have the First Order, this could be an incredibly powerful tool to weed out all those Akbar ships that you're going to find in Territories and Grand Arena. And then maybe that could free you up using your Negotiator on defense, a much harder ship to beat. So keep your eyes peeled. It's going to take a while before the meta shifts, because this is going to be a ship that's going to take a lot of people a while to get to, but maybe those top-end guilds who are going to acquire the ship a lot faster, they might notice that change in the meta, and having a tool that allows you to put Negotiator on defense and have a good counter for Rebellion still, that is going to be fantastic. I mean, if you guys can't see it, I am absolutely loving the direction ships is going. Give me more of it, Capital Games. Keep impressing me. If you can turn ships into something entertaining, this gives me a lot of hope for the future of the fleet meta. And you guys keep talking about how you're going to add a vehicles game mode down the road. I didn't have hope in your vehicles game mode, but now seeing what you're doing with ships, I'm feeling a lot better. Ain't that right, Gary? Will you guys pass the ball over to you guys? Let me know down below how you feeling about this ship. Like if you did enjoy the video, comment down below on all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And I'll see all you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everybody.